Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I wanted to seek the blessing of Radha Madhav, Radha Shamsundar, Krishna Balaram, Bhagopal, Singhadev, Bhagwan Jagannath, Paradeshpada, Gaunitai, Tulsimani, Haridas Thakur, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So, thank you for joining. We want to continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 9th chapter. We're at the 7th verse. This is all about Damoda Leela. And so we're going through this chapter a little bit more carefully, a little bit more in detail. So, verse 7 says, Mother Yashoda, after taking down the hot milk from the oven, returned to the churning spot. When she saw that the container of yogurt was broken and that Krishna was not present, she concluded that the breaking of the pot was the work of Krishna. So, while Krishna was busy with his divine mischief, his mother saved most of the milk from overflowing, placing the heavy pot off the fire, cleaning the stove. She then mopped the spilt milk from the floor. She did this as lovingly as she would bathe her son, with the conviction that everything in the house was for Krishna's service and thus as important as he is. Occasionally, she would glance over to see what Krishna was doing. And Krishna's internal potency arranged that she saw him playing on the floor before an intact churn, patiently waiting for her return. Such a good boy, she would be thinking. Yashoda Mai finally returned to her churning pot, but stopped dead in her tracks at what she saw and exclaimed, Vishnu, Vishnu, what is this? What has happened? She couldn't believe her eyes. At first, she thought the yogurt had seeped through the pot because they're made of clay. But then she noticed the churn had been deliberately broken. It wasn't broken a minute ago. Who dare do such a thing? Yashoda Mai remained hesitant to blame her little boy. But no one else was present. Besides, who else could be so clever? The brief admiration of her son gave way to the realization that what the neighbors had been saying about her beloved son is completely correct. He is naughty. So where is he? She ran to the bedroom chamber and beyond that to her dressing area. He was in neither place. Returning to the churning pot, she saw scattered footprints and yogurt handprints on the wall everywhere. But where was he? Not wanting to believe that her son may have been involved in this mayhem, but then it dawned on her that Krishna must be the culprit, and in fear of punishment, he has run away. She smiled at the naughtiness, cleverness, and subsequent flight of her darling son. Yashoda Mai began to follow Krishna's delicate footprints, and as she did, her motherly pride grew with each step. So there's little footprints of Krishna. Yashoda Mai is following these footprints. Making a show of false anger, she mused, the pranks of my son are unlimited. His every moment increases his pride, and his every theft increases his bliss. Although his acts disrupt our village, there are also a festival of joy for everyone, especially me. Yashoda Mai saw the storeroom door ajar and her key dangling from the lock. How dare he steal my keys from my private dressing room? She kept the keys to the larder in hidden, but obviously the Lord knew where the keys were hidden. So he stole the keys as well. Opened up this storeroom. So she opened it wide, and she was greeted by a band of panicky crows that had invaded the storeroom through a window and set upon her exposed produce. Her whole stock had become contaminated. Counting the pots, she realized that there was one missing. She was amazed. At first, she tried to bring some order to the storeroom, collecting the broken parts, etc. But it was too much for one person. What a big mess. How did he manage to make such a mess? Leaving the mess behind, Yashodamai continued searching. She peeked out of a window and saw in the courtyard Krishna standing on the large upturned wooden mortar, clapping his hands to catch the attention of the nearby monkeys. Yashodamai couldn't believe it, the tenacity of the boy. She watched as the monkeys fearlessly approached Krishna, who sat on the mortar, and placed the pot in his lap. Dipping into the pot, scooping out a handful of yogurt, he swallowed half and threw the rest to the nearest monkey. All the others crowded around. Krishna was anxiously looking here and there in case his mother came running after him. Mother, unable to suppress her joy, covered her mouth to keep her from laughing. The monkeys and Krishna have a natural affinity for each other, but associating too much with these mischief mongers, my son has become as mischievous as a monkey. Krishna was, of course, repaying a long-standing debt to the monkeys, who assisted him when he came as Ram. But Krishna knew that he had crossed all boundaries, and Mother will have no sympathy for him when she finds him. So text number 8. Krishna at that time was sitting on an upside-down wooden mortar for grinding spices and was distributing milk preparations such as yogurt and butter to the monkeys as he liked. Because of having stolen, he was looking all around with great anxiety, suspecting that he might be chastised by his mother. Mother Yashoda, upon seeing him, very cautiously approached him from behind. Yashoda, cautiously, as to not to slip on the buttery remnants, followed Krishna's footprints down the stairs towards the courtyard. Although Krishna is the intelligence of the intelligent, the most intelligent, he mistakenly sat with his back to the house, giving his mother the added advantage of sneaking up on him. As mother came into the courtyard, she noticed her husband's jeweled walking stick against the wall. He must have forgotten to take it. She grabbed the stick, thinking, I will not hurt him, but I will give him a good scare. Krishna was alerted that the mother was coming. So he had his back towards her. She came, but the monkeys alerted him. He spun around. He saw his mother with the stick. He was shocked. He did a double take. Did she really have a stick in her hands? He knew that punishment was inevitable, but a stick. She had used a stick previously to chase away the monkeys and heard the crows, but never to discipline him. Is she really coming, threatening him with a stick? Jumping from the mortar and landing on his chubby feet, Krishna had another look at his mother. Was this all real? Is she really coming at me with a stick? He was flabbergasted. How is that even possible? When Lord Shri Krishna saw his mother, stick in hand, he very quickly got down from the top of the mortar. This is text number 9. And he began to flee as if very much afraid. Although yogis tried to capture him as Paramatma by meditation, desiring to enter into the effulgence of the Lord with great austerities and penances, they failed to reach him. But Mother Yashoda, thinking that the same personality of Godhead, Krishna, to be her son, began following Krishna to catch him. She was running after him with the stick, and he ran, as did the monkeys who all scampered up the nearest tree. There you go. There's Krishna running. Mother Yashoda, stick in hand, and running after him. The demigods and sages who were fortunate enough to witness this scene looked on in wonder, mesmerized by the collage of Krishna's transcendental beauty, abode, and pastimes. Although there are many incarnations of deities throughout the universe, none could compare to the charm of this child. The demigods conversed amongst themselves. Is Krishna really afraid? Or is he just running as if he was afraid? Is he pretending to run, to be scared, and then running? Extraordinary! This is the demigods. They're saying these things. For the crime of stealing fresh yogurt, the Supreme Lord is being threatened by a stick-wielding gopi. Moreover, he who is feared by demons and demigods alike is running away in fear of her. In this land of Gokul, there is no chance of pretense for even the Supreme Lord. The law of sweetness dictates that he behaves like an ordinary child. We must therefore conclude that he is full of fear. This is what the demigods concluded. And this is what is also stated by the Acharyas. He was actually feeling this fear of being chastised by his beloved mother. Such a display of emotion may be bewildering even to the learned. But the Lord's associates say Krishna is possessed by thoughts of fear. What to speak of the demigods? Krishna was bewildered by his own conduct. Why am I running away? Even the yogis who meditate upon me through excruciating penances and over a long time, yet I am personally remaining far from them. But therefore they cannot reach me. They cannot catch me. So why should I fear this gopi? So the yogis meditate with the speed of their mind. So but they still can't catch him. So he's thinking, why am I so scared of this little gopi? But then he answers his own question. Because she holds a secret of unconditional love, her bhakti, very powerful bhakti. And that love can control, catch, and punish me. The demon, Kala Yavana, he would run after Krishna, never to reach him, because of his own sinful ways. Yashoda Mai was not sinful, but was pure and loving. From Kala Yavana, Krishna walked leisurely, but from Yashoda, he had to run. That said, Yashoda Mai was still a good distance from Krishna. Although the force of her loving desire bridled him, neither could she catch him. Neither could he escape. It was a tug of war in which they were, for the time being, evenly matched. So that he was always one arm's length away. No matter how hard Yashoda Mai tried to catch him. No matter how much they tried, mother and son remained one arm distant. Never any closer, never any further. Run as she might, she could not get closer. Run as he might, he could not get any further. Yashoda Mai called out to Krishna, "Stop running! Stop, you thief and liar! How dare you run from your mother? Stop where you are!" Slowing somewhat, but keeping his distance, he turned and called over his shoulder, "I will stop if you drop your stick. If you are afraid of my punishment, then why did you break my butter churn and ransack my storehouse?" Yashoda said, "I will never do it again. Please drop the stick." However, Yashoda Mai was still intent on catching him. So he tried another approach. With long wailing sounds and showers of false tears, he publicized his tale of woe, thinking that mother will be intimidated if I attract the attention of the neighbors. However, mother was not intimidated in the least and continued to chase her darling boy, even making it known to him of her intentions with the whoosh whoosh of the swinging cane. After chasing Krishna for it seems ages, Yashoda Mai was tiring. Sweat poured down her cheeks, her hair loosened, but Krishna was also tiring, thinking, where is the shelter for me in this world? And he called out in distress. So he gives shelter to everybody, but who can give shelter to him? Please drop that stick. Do not punish me with it. If you drop it, I will come to you. Text number 10. While following Krishna, Mother Yashoda, her thin waist overabundant with heavy breasts, naturally had to reduce her speed. Because of following Krishna very swiftly, her hair became loose and the flowers in her hair were falling after her. Yet she did not fail to capture her son, Krishna. Considering her own fatigue and his pitiful plea, Yashodamai made as if to throw the stick away by actually hiding it behind her. And she exclaimed, I have thrown it away. Krishna was deceived. He slowed and by turning towards her, slowed even more. With Yashodamai still running at full speed, the mystical arm's distance vanished. She managed to wrap her right hand around his right wrist and triumphantly she said, now you are caught, rascal. This is a nice painting. Touching Krishna gave Yashodamai ecstatic feelings, unattainable by prayers of Brahmins, the speculation of jnanis, or the meditation of yogis. Krishna was now arrested by the glorious love, Yashodamai. Initially, Brahma and Shiva were upset to Krishna exhibit fear of his mother, but now they were completely bewildered to see her capture him. If Krishna was so susceptible to the gopi, could he really protect them? Krishna whispered, Mother, please do not beat me. Text number 11. When caught by Mother Yashoda, Krishna became more and more afraid and admitted to being an offender. As she looked upon him, she saw that he was crying, his tears mixing with the black ointment around his eyes. And as he rubbed his eyes with his hands, he smeared the ointment all over his face. Mother Yashoda, catching her beautiful son by the hand, mildly began to chastise him. He started emanating a stream of sweet, indistinguishable words, which were nectar to the ears of Yashodamai. Fully realizing that he was helpless in her mother's grasp, his mumbling transformed into sobs. Yashodamai thought, in his disturbed condition, this boy is likely to do anything. He is so strong-willed that he might even run away into the forest. Better I secure him to an immovable object until he is composed. I will tie him down, she thought, unless he surrenders and calms down. Krishna wasn't ready to surrender yet. He tested Mother Yashoda's grasp, but she held him tight. He remained unwilling to admit guilt, but his courageous facade was betrayed by his tears. He was afraid. Yashodamai kept trying to look at his face, but whenever she did, Krishna turned away, and with his free hand he wiped the remnants of yogurt from his mouth and body, thinking the less evidence the better, and perhaps her punishment would be reduced. Finally, Mother had enough of his antics and exposed the stick she was hiding. She waved it in front of him and said, do you see this, king of rascals? If you do, then do not try to run away again. Krishna was shocked. She had cheated. She still had the stick. He felt betrayed. The commotion was attracting the Bijbasis, who were starting to converge. Krishna felt increasingly humiliated. He was the leader of the boys and held a position of respect amongst them. Were the boys to appear now, he would become the butt of their jokes and be dishonored as their figurehead. With so many thoughts and emotions going through him, Krishna felt overwhelmed. And after all, he was just a little boy. He did what little boys do. He began to sob uncontrollably. He tried unsuccessfully to conceal himself in the fold of his mother's sari. But she would have none of that. She would mildly push him away. Yashoda Mai's indifference to Krishna was a new feature in the relationship between mother and son. Krishna was expecting something else. He was expecting the warmth of touch and kindness of love with which mother always wiped away his tears. But that was in the past. He had crossed all limits in his behavior and he wanted to learn. She wanted him to learn to take responsibility for his actions. Although seeing his sad demeanor, Yashoda Mai almost succumbed to her maternal nature. But the importance of educating him restrained him. She started calling him all sorts of names. Oh, Ashanta, restless one. Roshagrasta, one who is swallowed by anger. Mugdha Prakrita, greedy one. Vanapriya, friend of the monkeys. Gra Lubdaka, house thief. Why have you brought ill fame on your lineage with such bad qualities? Krishna was hurt. Why did she have to call him names like friend of the monkeys? Yashodamai continued, to teach you a lesson, I'm going to tie you up. And for the time being, you cannot play with your toys or your companions. I will deny you butter and yogurt, friend of the monkey. Reform and stop your mischief. If ever again you want to steal from the house, remember this stick. Having said all that, Yashodamai let the stick fall to the ground. Krishna breathed a sigh of relief that the stick was not in her hands, but he was miffed by her comments again regarding being the friend of the monkeys and also being denied any butter or yogurt. Okay, so we can stop here. Any questions or any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Anyway, we come back to this Damodar Leela again, or
Yeah,
have
because
you started?
yes, chapter 9 talks about this wonderful Leela of Damodar Leela. So, because 2 whole chapters are dedicated to this one Leela, it's a very important Leela. And yes, we discuss this Damodar Leela every Kartik Mas. So now, because we are in chapter 9, we're going through the Leela again.
And this is like in month of Shravan.
No, Kartik, in the month of Kartik,
Oh,
which is
is
October, November.
Kartik month started?
No, that will start October, November. But because we are doing the chapter Bhagavatam,
Yeah.
chapter by chapter, it has come
Yeah.
now. So we're discussing it now.
Okay,
But
that's
it's
all
so,
right. Because I
so
was
good.
wondering,
Hmm.
have you started from last week? But as you are telling me,
Yeah.
no, it
No.
will come.
Yeah. And it's even in the month of Shravan to remember this pastime, because Shravan is a very auspicious month.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank
What I have to do is, I have missed all the parts of
Sure.
last week, so
Yeah.
I will just hear them.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yes. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai, Damodar Leela ki jai.